There was a time in my life I was embarrassed of being Nigerian. Growing up as a Nigerian was kind of interesting. Obviously you had the African parents. You're very religious, you high expectations, which is a good thing and could be a bad thing. At home, everything was pretty Nigerian. Parents, music, food, accents. But when you step outside though, that is different.
I'm from Africa, you from Africa, you African booty scratcher.
At that moment, I was like trying to fit in. I was quite embarrassed when someone was able to tell I'm Nigerian. I was about 12 years old when I moved from Nigeria to the United States. So I didn't like when people knew when I was Nigerian because, obviously we know about the jokes. It felt like I didn't fit in. And it took quite a while for me to fit in. I never had to deal with name pronunciations. I did get it because my last name is DK, D-I-K-E, but it was pronounced Dyke. My first name's Parker. That's a pretty white name. So I never had to deal with pronunciations or like teachers mispronouncing my name or students mispronouncing my name. So my insecurity phase, like I mentioned earlier, my accent was very strong, so it was easily detectable. People didn't make fun of me for that, but I was very insecure about that. I was very self-conscious about that. Up until first year in college, I think, because that's like around the time I stopped caring. Certain words that I wouldn't say as often, like when I said it, people laughed. I remember one time, for example, we were playing, I forgot the name of the game we were playing. We had to keep saying words, and if you're able to remember, you stay. I think that's the premise of the game. And if you don't remember, you get. It's something like that. And so the word that came up was 3, and I said tree. I used to always say that. I used to always say tree. A classmate of mine at the time, his name's Denim, like he would make fun of me for that. I remember him laughing at me. I lost that game purposefully because I couldn't say the name, and I didn't want to get embarrassed, and I didn't want people to laugh at me. To escape the embarrassment, I decided to lose the game. Another example is I remember lying to people, telling people I was Egyptian. Now, I don't know why I did that, but I think I thought like being Egyptian was kind of cool. I remember distinctly lying to a friend of mine, his name's Devon, and his mom would ask me, where was I from? And I would say, I'm Egyptian, I'm from the Middle East. I don't know why I did it. I think subconsciously, I didn't want to be associated with being Nigerian. I probably was just joking, but I feel like that's not a thing to joke about. If you're from a place, why not just say where you're from? Why do you have to lie to say you're from a different place? When you don't see people like you being represented positively, you start thinking that your culture is something that you shouldn't be subscribed to. When people are constantly making your culture or you the butt of a joke, you start trying to disengage from that. I tried avoiding that by acting like I wasn't what I was. What changed? I think as I got older, I started to see that a lot of these things that I was self-conscious about aren't really important. And then when I got to college, genuinely couldn't give a single college is when I started seeing Africans wear African clothes to school. I'm pretty sure that also happened in high school, but it didn't happen in my high school. But college was when I saw that. I saw like representation of, Africans, and everywhere I went, there was like a Nigerian everywhere. Also with social media, that's when things changed a lot. People started liking Africans, Nigerians. People started liking dark skins. You'd see people trying African foods. It was just awesome to just see the representation of that. Afrobeats, that's also a huge thing. People started listening to a lot of Afrobeats. So when that happened, I felt a lot more comfortable. When I'd see a fellow Nigerian, I'd be like, hey, I'll find out how you did. Like before, I didn't do that. That actually happened today. I was at a camera store and I heard this guy speaking and I'm like, he sounds Nigerian. And I was like, are you guys Nigerian? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I feel like I know you from somewhere. I'm like, how you doing? How far, everything. So just things like that. I never was comfortable doing that. The things I've been insecure about are now the things I'm most proud of. And I've come to the realization that I should embrace who I am. I should tell people who I am. I should welcome people to know who I am. If you ever felt different growing up, maybe that difference isn't a weakness. Maybe that difference is what makes you stand out. Maybe that difference is what puts you into places that you probably wouldn't have gone into. Maybe that difference is a superpower. So I think you should embrace that difference. Being Nigerian, it's a pride. Don't get me wrong, there are bad things, but I think the good outweighs the bad. I feel like we're the best in the world, and I'm glad.